Hello there everybody, this is Krista and welcome back to Crochet Witch Tarot. And today I have decided it's fall in my house now. Once I was done with my work for the day, when I'm filming this, it is currently Monday. I think you will be seeing this Tuesday, if you wish. But Mondays are my days to work from home, so once I was done with my work for the day, I just got the urge to pull out my bin of fall and Halloween decorations and put them all out. So, now that I am sitting in my Halloween loveliness, of course I naturally got the urge to want to bring out all of my fall and Halloween Samhain feeling decks. And so I was pulling them out and looking at them, and so I figured, while I did so, I might as well share that all with you. I'm pretty sure it is a common thing to look forward so much to the fall time. I think a lot of us love the fall. It's cozy, it's fun and exciting. I just love it. It's one of my favorite seasons. I am a fall and winter person through and through. Very excited. There are parts of summer that I like, but I am excited to see the hot weather go. So I brought out all of my decks that really make me get into that fall and Halloween mood. So let's look through them together. I haven't looked through, of course, some of these are decks I use regardless, but today, while I'm in this excitement, I haven't looked through them yet. So let's get started. So to start off, I just wanted to grab my Fairies Oracle. Now this is a deck I use all of the time, regardless of the season, but if I had to fit it into a certain seasonal slot, I just really feel like it would be fall. It's gotta be that mustard yellow border and all the browns going on in here. I have a copy of The Heart of Fairy now, which is the other oracle by Brian and Wendy Froud. And I will say that they have very different feels. That one, to me, I could see leaning more spring and summer, while this feels like the fae during the fall and winter to me for some reason. And I think just having that realization made me even more excited to use this deck, even though, again, this is one I use all the time. I love this deck. So, that is the Brian Froud Fairies Oracle. Next up, I've just got a huge pile next to me, so let's just keep going. Oh, next, this is a brand new deck to me, as in, I pulled it out of the mailbox maybe an hour ago. It is the Mystic Misfits Oracle. This is the little guidebook you get, which I just think is so much fun. It's like a little notepad, and the paper is sparkly. I don't know if you can see that. There's like a shimmer to it, but I just think that's so much fun. I found this used. This is the second edition, which didn't have some of the newer cards in it, but on Etsy, the creator sells the new cards that you can join right into if you have an older version of the deck. So I actually just did that. I went on and ordered, I think it was the three cards I was missing, but this one is totally a Samhain feeling deck. I have to, it's just spooky and fun and cute. I'm really excited about this one. My friend Matt, who is Matt Albright Tarot, on Instagram introduced this deck to me. I've seen a few other people using it, but I was able to look at this deck in person because he just thought I would love it, and I really think he's right, because, how cute! It's cute and creepy. What can go wrong with cute and creepy? Nothing, that's what I say. This is one of the cards that is new. So, usually I wouldn't mind if there was, new cards The other one is this pumpkin card, which is super cute. And then there is a devil card that's new. Did we already go buy that one? That's death. I guess we must have already went by it. It was the devil card. No, we're gonna sit here and find it. There's not tons of cards in this oracle. It's a smaller one, but it is really nice. Okay, so this is a new card as well. I don't think I would have necessarily gone for it for those two, but I saw there was a fairy card that got added, and I was like, oh, I need the fairy card. I have to have the fairy card if there's a fairy card. So while we were at it, we got the other ones as well, but I'm really excited to start using this one, especially this time of year. So that is the Mystic Misfits Oracle. Now, speaking of cute and creepy, we've got to bring out the Cute and Creepy Tarot. I love this bag I made for it. It was inspired by the backs with the black and pink combo. And I have these little... Ooh, okay, are we gonna focus? Come on. These skull beads that are so much fun. I really love this tarot deck. It's such a good mood one. I love the backs. This is one, I mean, really all of these decks are ones I'll bring out all year round, but something about this season, don't you just get extra excited to use certain things? This is definitely one of those decks. It's not necessarily fall feeling. It's got a lot of bright colors, pulls on folklore that, you know, isn't based purely in the fall time, but I just think because it's got that creepy feel to it just a little, it makes me think of Halloween. I'm really excited. I think this is gonna pair, hold on, let's do it. Since we're just playing today. Oh my gosh, isn't that gonna be so fun? Yeah, these are gonna pair really well. I'm super excited. There is a Cute and Creepy Oracle coming out. I didn't end up backing that on Kickstarter because I kind of wanted to wait and see some flip-throughs and how other people got along with the Oracle. Because, I mean, while I do love this tarot deck, it's not one that I would say I pull out tons. So I wanted to wait and see on the Oracle, but it did look really awesome, I have to say. This is my favorite, that Lover's card. I love this deck. It's so good. I've started coloring in the guidebook too, which is so fun. So, that is the Cute and Creepy Tarot. Oh, what do we want to do next? I guess we'll just kind of go in order with what's next to me. So this is a new to me Lenormand. It is the Nocturnal Garden Lenormand. Well, I guess I shouldn't say super new. I've had it for a few weeks now. I really loved it. It's really kickstarted. I'm just gonna hold it up. Excuse the fingers. But something about, I think I love the imagery so much. Look, I mean, come on. It really kickstarted my just using Lenormand more and getting to know the system a bit better. And I mean, it's got such Halloween Samhain vibes, doesn't it? It has like a like Victorian Gothic feel, which is my favorite. This is the time of year where I actually start reading again. But it's pretty much all cozy mysteries or mysteries set in Victorian England, that kind of like steampunk kind of era. Because I love anything that can bring me the feeling of this time of year coming up. I want to be fully immersed. So that is the Nocturnal Garden Lenormand, and I've really been loving using it. And since having it, had the effect I wanted, where I've been doing Lenormand readings so often, I mean multiple times a week, which is not usual for me. Next we have Cash and Thorn, which this is, I think, my favorite bag I've made for myself. If I do say. And again, this is one that comes out all year long, but really has that fall feel to it, with the colors being so warm toned and just brown toned. And there's a lot of fall scenes in this deck as well. And it has that cozy feeling that I really relate to the upcoming season. I guess I can't say it's technically fall yet, but the nearing season, right? I mean, that's such a fall feeling scene. Most of these are to me. Gosh, I just love this one. Have you all seen, if you are a fan of these decks by Three Trees Tarot, they released in their email update the other day the theme of the Oracle, and it was something about a cottage in the woods or something. I can't wait. I mean, cottage in the woods, yes, sign me up. Can I move in? Thank you so much. Oh, I just love this deck, I really do. I think I'm just gonna keep these decks out for now because they're making me so happy. I know I picked my decks for the week, and a lot of those too I pulled from my basket because they have that fall feeling, but ooh, I think we're gonna keep these out. We're doing a day in switch up perhaps. They're just making me so happy. So that is the Cash and Thorn Tarot. Okay, next up is, ooh, excuse that noise. Next up is the Green Witch Tarot. Now I feel like this time of year is also when I start to really lean into my own witchy practice of sorts, which I think again is a common thing, that when spooky season arrives, we want to be spooky. And this deck really reflects my own witchcraft practice. So when I want to really lean into that, this is the deck I reach for. So I know it's going to get a lot of use throughout the fall and the winter. Those are the two seasons I find where I am doing the most magically, I guess you could say. I could look at these pictures. I mean, really all these decks. These scenes are not, you know, very exclusively fall feeling. If anything, probably most of them aren't, because, you know, it's the Green Witch. Things are growing. Probably more summery. I mean, this is an all-season deck for me, but I think it's just my own relation to my personal practice I have with this deck that makes me feel like it's a fall time deck. I would love to know, anyone else who has their own witchy practice, if that's something that you do anyway, do you have decks that you use that really speak to the way you work your practice? I would be really interested to know. All right, next is another new deck for me, the Strange Antlers Tarot, or the Tarot Ramoris Estranges. Oh, that was probably terrible. My apologies. But this deck actually, to me, really speaks to this exact time of year where we're coming out of summer and heading into autumn. That's the time of year I feel like this deck so perfectly encaptures. But I know it's going to carry over into the fall as well. And this is another one that speaks really strongly for me to my witchy or spiritual practice, however you want to look at it. I'm really excited to get to know this one. Again, this is very new to me, so I don't have too many thoughts. I do want to put in the time to translate the guidebook because it is in French. But I do think it seems it's a decent sized guidebook, so I feel like what it has to say is going to be really interesting to look at. So I do want to put in the time to do that. But yes, I feel like this is a September deck, because September really is that kind of liminal space where some days it feels like summer, some days it feels like fall. And plus, I think, you know, once you've kind of gotten your way through the midst of summer, I think we're all over being hot. A lot of people love that Halloween season. I think we're all just really wishing for fall to come, so I think that adds to that really liminal feeling of September. Next, of course, it couldn't be a fall Halloween video without the Halloween Tarot. Now, this is a deck that my older sister got me for Christmas. She found it used at a yarn shop she goes to, which is actually where I get a lot of my hand-dyed yarn from now, which is super neat. The owner is a tarot reader, and when she has a deck that doesn't work for her, she will just put it for sale in her yarn shop, which is where my older sister also goes to do trunk shows for her own yarn. So she must have saw it there. Well, I know she saw it there, but then picked it up for me, knowing I would like it, which I very much do. This deck makes me so happy. It's just cheesy and wonderful. How could you not smile using this deck? Unless you just don't like Halloween. I mean, fair then. But otherwise, come on, this deck is so good, and it gives me really great readings, and I love the pocket size of it. I want to do a VR to the 9-card spread tag that Meg at Rose Honey Ritual created, inspired by, it's a whole line of people, I think, but I know inspired by a video Sylvain put out. And it seems like, because it's 9 cards, that's a lot, so I was like, gosh, I should probably use, I could use whatever deck I want, I suppose, but it would be easiest to use a pocket-sized deck. So I was trying to think of what I wanted to use. Maybe I should just use the Halloween Tarot. Because why not, you know? Oh, this deck is so fun. Again, this is one it doesn't matter what time of year for me, but I get especially excited when it's the Halloween season. And I feel like that's a common experience because you start seeing this deck pop up starting, I'll give it another week or two, and then it's gonna be all over Instagram, which I can't wait. I love seeing everyone being like, yes, it's Halloween Tarot time. All right, next up we have the Hush Tarot, which is a very, I like to say like a death-centric tarot, but it's not in a depressing way. The artwork is beautiful, and it's got those really warm tones to it, the warm brown tones, but it also does depict a lot of death and decay, which, is what is happening in the autumn season. Morbid to see it that way, I suppose, but the leaves are falling off the trees, our gardens are dying away. So I feel like this deck really does represent that season so well. And again, also the coloring of it. Oh, this High Priestess card is so pretty. I love all the birds too. It starts to make me look forward to putting out my bird feeder again, come usually mid to late fall through the winter is I'll always have my bird feeder out, which I really love because it's right outside my window in my little tarot room I have here, so I can sit and watch them, which is nice. I'm so excited to have this deck out again though. It has a very fae feel to it as well, which I love. It pairs really well with the Fairies Oracle, I find. And it's such a beautiful deck. Look at that. I mean, and the kittens, it's got kittens. Come on. Birds and kittens and bones. What could be better? So that is the Hush Tarot. Now, even this bag is fall looking. This is my Victorian Romantic Tarot in one of these bags from Cosmic Eye Tarot. So beautiful. Now I find once it starts to get into the fall and winter season is when I really start to become drawn to these more kind of found art decks. I don't have many because, again, it's not something I lean towards super, super often. But in the fall and winter is really when I seem to want to use them. And it's got these really dark, rich tones to it. It's such a beautiful deck. But I feel like there's so many kind of like heavy robes on, these beautiful big dresses. I almost wonder, I feel like using it in the summer was just making me feel hot for them. Like, oh my gosh, you must be sweating. But yes, so I do find, so I have this one and the Revival Art Tarot. And just within the past week or so, I've been really gravitating towards them again. And I think it's just when the weather cools down for some reason, I lean more into these found art decks. Oh, this deck is so beautiful. I'm so excited to have this out again. This is my favorite chariot. So this is the, like, come on, imagine it being the height of summer in that. You'd be sweating! Oh my gosh, sweating. I realized that probably was their summer wear, but I don't know. Too hot. So that is the Victorian Romantic Tarot. Alright, we've got a lot of decks out. I hope you all were buckled in, because I might be halfway through. Alright. Of course, let's just do these two right in a row. We had to bring out our Claire Goodchild decks. I am so excited for her book coming out next month, the Book of Seances, I think it's called. Something about talking to ghosties. I can't wait to read that one. So this is my Memento Mori deck, which is the deck I love to use for spirit communication. I'll use it as just, you know, a daily reading oracle as well, but this is the deck I find really works for me in that specific way. A lot of my own relatives have come to love this deck. Paul's relatives. My spirit guide loves this deck. It just really connects well to the spirit realm, I find. And what better time of year to do that than Samhain? Right? Right. So this deck, of course, comes out even more during this season because I'm typically more drawn to doing that work. So that is the Memento Mori Oracle. And we also have our Antique Anatomy. This is my modded version. The only version I have. So I do not have a plain version of the Antique Anatomy, Why I need to specify that, I don't know. But here we are. I love this deck. Again, it's all the bones and the creepiness to it, but I love the mixture with the florals. And also adding the stickers and book pages, I think adds to that real Halloween feel. This would also possibly be fun with that Misfits deck. Or the Garden... Ooh, hold on. Wait, the Lenormand deck. Let's see. I think that... Oh, yes, yes, yes. Look at that. Those are going to be so fun to use together. Because, again, they both have this, like, Victorian Gothic type spookiness to it. That very specific type of spooky. Oh, this is gonna be fun! Yes, amazing. I've been working more on pairing Lenormand with my tarot and incorporating it into readings rather than just using it on its own, which has been a lot of fun. Okay. So, if you didn't see, I do have a walkthrough of this whole deck to kind of show what I did with each of the cards. So if you're interested in that. The thing to say here is I'll link it down below. But I am unreliable in that regard. So I'm gonna try and remember. But if not, just know the video exists. Okay, so that is the Antique Anatomy Tarot. Okay, we are working our way through. We are. And actually, I feel like arguably my most autumn feeling decks are what we have left here. So fun. All right. Next up, we have the Steampunk Tarot. Now, I did trim mine. So it initially had, I mean, look at these backs. It's the brown tones, really. Initially, it had full black borders, but I took off 3 of the sides and just left the bottom. But this deck is it's dark and moody, and again, it's that Victorian, Gothic, steampunk kind of era that makes me think of fall because this is my favorite subject or topic setting. Hold on, let's get our words right. My favorite setting of books, and this is the time of year where I actually get myself to sit and read. So that's what I'm reading. I think that's another layer of why this feels so autumnal to me. Is because already looking at this, I'm like, oh yes! We're reading, baby! And what's really fun too is the guidebook references Victorian set mystery books, some of which I have not read yet. So we are going to totally pull this deck out to use it, and when I come across books I've not read, we gotta make sure we get those in our little reading hands. I'm so excited about this one. This one is a newer one to me. I've had it physically for a bit now, but I've just not used it much because I know it's going to be a fall and winter deck for me. So, very excited for that. I edged it in this dark brown, which I love. So that is the Steampunk Tarot. Next, of course, we have to pull out our Season of the Witch Samhain. Now, this is going to actually be my first Samhain season with this deck. I got this months ago now, but it was like beginning of spring, maybe? Yeah, I think so. But I've still used this all the time. It's such a good oracle outside of, just using it for the season, which I think is something really unique about it to me. I have the Yule one as well, which I love, but that one I just can't seem to use outside of the winter season. It feels very winter specific, where this one just kind of feels shadowy to me. So I'll use it in the middle of the summer as kind of a shadow work deck. But I'm very excited to have it pulled out for this season. Because it's just going to feel extra special, right? I think so. I love this deck. It's so witchy and fun. And just very well done. The guidebooks are really well done on this one. I can't speak to the... I love that. I can't speak to the Beltane Oracle. That one just didn't really draw me. I think, again, because the spring and summer, they're just not my seasons, you know? I like celebrating the holidays, but anything fall and winter is really my jam. So I'm excited for, I think the next one might be, they're doing is Maybon, question mark? No, don't quote me on that. I don't actually know. I can't remember. I want to say, though, it was. But I'm excited for the next, you know, autumn or winter holiday that they do, to see how that is. Look at that, nature spirits. I love that. So that is the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle. You know what? Let's do this fun good time one next, I think. Now this is a combination of possibly my cheesiest oracles owned. I've shown before the Witches Familiars, which I love and adore entirely for its cheesiness, but now I also have the Witch's Wisdom by the same creators. And what did I do? I combined them into this huge, mega cheesy deck that brings me endless joy. Nope, we're trying to zoom out. Okay. So this one, again, it's just got the witchy feel to it. It's these dark colors. I think it's going to be so much fun this time of year. I mean, these decks, they give amazing readings. Don't get me wrong. By me calling it cheesy, it's just the imagery. And there are these little poems in the book that are a little cheesy. Fantastic. I love them. Regardless. The messages, though, always hit home. So these read so well, but I will also say that a lot of this, a lot about this for me is just the fun. I think it is. I think these decks are just fun. So I'm really excited to have this one out and to have them combined. I just think it's fun. I don't know. Why not create a huge deck? Because I was like, really, when I'm in the mood to use this, I'm not gonna pick one or the other. Like, I don't want to have to pick one or the other. They feel energetically the same to me. So I was like, let's just put them together. And it's been so much fun so far. Look at this. So the tarot cards card, it's it's cards from the deck. Just repeated. I don't know. That brings me joy. So again, this is the Witches Familiars combined with the Witches Wisdom deck. And we love them. Isn't it fun sometimes too, just to have like a massive oracle deck? I just think like the more cards the better, sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Alright, we are down to our last two, and they are very spooky season. So, next we have the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot from US Games. Now this one is also newer to me, and I love it. There's so much going on in these pictures, and the little white book it comes with is just so necessary. Necessary in the sense that it really explains what's going on in these pictures and gives just a take on the cards that is so different for me, personally at least. I love the cheesy ghost backs. Why they didn't match up the, like, off-white color, I don't know. But we love them anyway. I'm really excited to have this deck out. I have used it a bit and have loved the readings I've gotten from it. But again, just knew it was going to get more play once the weather got cooler. And I'm really excited to try and use it alongside Memento Mori. I think that's going to be really interesting. So that is the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot. Now we are up to our last one. So last but not least, we have our Dark Mansion Tarot. This one paired with, I got this one right around the same time I think I got the Seasons of the Witch Samhain. And this deck paired with that one is just, it's magical. Look at these backs. I just love them. I got this in a trade, I believe. Actually, same with the Seasons of the Witch, because I was just going to wait to buy it around this time of year, but I think it came up in a trade, which I think explains why I got it at such like a seemingly random time. But I'm glad I did, because I've used these decks together quite often, actually. Again, another like Victorian Gothic feel. I guess that's my thing in the fall, turns out. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's just my favorite regardless, but especially when the weather gets cold, it just feels like it's the right time for that kind of setting. I'm so excited to have this out. Oh my gosh. These decks bring me so much joy. All of my decks bring me so much joy, but don't we? I'm saying we. By we, I really mean me. I don't mean to generalize, but I love this time of year, and I love any sort of divination around this time of year too, and so I just get extra excited about these decks. So that is the Dark Mansion Tarot, and also my last deck I have to show. I'm sure I'm missing some. I would say the Southern Gothic feels a little bit fall to me. That one's just going to be out year-round. Northern Animal does. But I just use them so much year-round. I just didn't pull them in. Anyway, well, Southern Gothic, at least so far. So, I'm sure there are some I'm missing, but... Oh my gosh, my Holly Audley decks. Hold on. Hold the phone. Okay. I have this one on hand, but any of her decks. But this is my Bonaventure Cemetery divination deck. And I just feel like fall time is like the Holly Audley season. Because all of her decks are based around something at least a little bit spooky. And I love it. This is such a favorite, this one. It's themed off of things found in a graveyard that Holly visits, which I think it's so cool. But this wouldn't have been a fall Halloween Samhain deck video without showing at least one Holly Audley deck, but just know all the above will get their time to shine during this season. So this is the Bonaventure Cemetery deck by Holly Audley. Now that is officially the last one I will show today. Let me know in the comments below which decks you are looking forward to using this upcoming fall season, if you like using tarot in a seasonal way, like I do. But other than that, I hope you're all having a wonderful beginning to your week, and I will see you very soon.